Peanuts today. I gotta eat something. Okay. We
Yeah,
are officially live.
I'm live. I'm 10 seconds in.
Okay, checking my stations now. Where do lives go on YouTube? I'm not seeing. Oh, there we go. Kamara Insurance Agency is live on Facebook. Let me check MSIS. MSIS is live as well.
I show them live.
Cool. So we're live there. I don't see where lives go on YouTube. Quick checking. Live. I see live on YouTube, but I don't see us.
It might be a delay too, which is fine. I would think we're coming up here on the 2 o'clock hour.
Cool.
You want me to try and log into the YouTube?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yep, you're live.
I'm live, but am I live streaming that? Because I started some weird live thing and I don't know what I just did. There's no way to turn this off. How do I get out of this? Oh, there it is. It says live now. Live with Restream. There we go. Yeah, we're live on YouTube. 2 minutes in. All right. Technology is working the way it should. Okay, so welcome everybody to the channel. We're starting today a minute late, and we're going to be going over, let's see what our subject is today. Sorry, move this here. We're going to be going over Wildfire prepared home checklist.
Yeah, and I really like the fact that you brought that up, Chris. And like, was there a client that asked you about it, or what was kind of, were you laying in bed just dreaming about home insurance? And
no, actually, it's become a hotter and hotter topic politically, and there's been a lot of information pushed out, but we want to put it in a format for people to more easily understand.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of unfortunate. You had that fire that just popped up near El Dorado Hills, Shingle Springs.
I think we're lucky there were no structures burned from what I saw last in the news.
But it's crazy the amount of grass fires I think that I've seen in the past month.
Oh, absolutely. There was one in Sacramento area that just was right next to a whole bunch. Actually, I think it was next to the Fry's. I'm going to pull that up. Not Fry's. What is it now? IKEA?
Okay.
West Sac IKEA fire.
But there's just been so many, and I think everyone's, maybe it's top of mind. It is springtime or summer, almost here soon. Mm-hmm. They're all doing yard work, and you're doing the lawn mower and you hit that little spark, and it could just take off on you. We've got high winds, I think all this week, and I'm sure there's a red flag warning that's popped up. And there's the most valuable asset is your home, and you don't want a small grass fire an acre away to
take that out. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
you want to start with this video, or do you want to save that dramatic piece for later?
Yeah, let's save the dramatics for later.
Okay.
I guess just maybe going over quickly that wildfire prepared home checklist, what insureds can do to look at hardening their home, making it so any sort of grass fire or fire nearby won't catch a fence line or catch some debris that they may have in their yard. And obviously there's the 0 to 5 foot zone too. That's kind of a new ordinance that just popped up this year, where there's a lot of county, city, just regulations that are intact. And, I'm up here in Nevada County. My grandma just got one not too long ago where the city is knocking on doors and putting flyers out and saying, you need to clean up your yard. So,
which is kind of overdue, right? Forget the insurance piece. I mean, we want to protect lives and people. Right. That's kind of a given that those things need to happen. Just home maintenance.
Yeah. The ember resistant zone.
And you sent a document. I'm going to put it up on the screen in just a second.
Okay.
Bear with me.
So yeah, there's the zones, I guess, real quick while you're getting that ready, is the 0 to 5 feet zone. That's zone 0. Zone 1 is 5 to 30 feet. That's your trees out in the yard that need to be limbed up. And then zone 2, which is 30 to 100 feet, possibly all the way from your immediate yard to your actual property line, possibly. Just depends. But those are the heightened zones that you need to really be making sure that you're making defensible. So you don't want ladder fuels that are going to come up and take over. And now there's a lot more resources that are out there for dead tree removal.
I think you've got to approve that share, Ryan.
Do what?
I think you have to approve me to share that document.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. There we go.
No worries.
Yeah. Buttons. So this is put out by IBHS, which is the, Institute for Better Home Safety, if my memory serves me correctly. They're kind of helping to implement a framework for carriers to have them come back into the market, showing them that insureds are doing their work. And there's several carriers that abide by getting IBHS approved. Mercury Insurance, Farmers Insurance, State Farm Insurance, AAA. So we were just going to go over that checklist and start at the top and see what we can do to.
Yeah, and you went over it very quickly, but we're just going to go over with the graphics here, make it a little easier for people. So we'll start here.
Base level, 0 to 5 feet.
Yep.
Non-combustible zone. First 5 feet of your home. So that's basically, from your home outwards, measured out horizontally. They want you to remove all. Go ahead.
When I'm going over stuff like this and clients give me this, it's a very common statement is, I don't want my home to look like it's on Mars. What do you say to stuff like that?
It is there's a lot more ground cover you can put out. I mean, I would say that I hate to like use the term like, it's only 5 feet, but yeah, I guess it is that, most people have patios, have walkways that are within that 5 feet. You can still make your home look presentable and look not only presentable, but look modern and be defensible. I mean, this is really kind of coming down from the state. So if you want to be more susceptible to being taken on from a carrier, this is kind of the framework that they're looking at.
And we're looking at carriers tiptoeing into this now, but
Yep.
that's going to become more the norm, at least from what we can see is happening. That's going to be requirements for these admitted carriers to even consider your property, right?
I mean, we hope we don't know. I mean, is it going to be that?
I'm saying from our lens right now, our best guess.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, me too. I think it's either going to be you're abiding by this 0 to 5, or we're going to almost heavily penalize you or make you not eligible for coverage.
And we have a carrier doing that right now. Actually, I've seen it a couple of times. I think you have as well. If the California Fair Plan does an inspection and finds something, and a client does not remedy those things, then they get charged a surcharge, and they also go to from replacement cost value to something else, which is a lot less beneficial to the client.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
I don't want to say ACV because I know it's not, and someone will correct me at some point, but it is close to what ACV is.
Yeah, I would say it's going to be close to that. Well, I guess it just really depends on the carrier, but it's definitely not an ACV type of scare.
Yep. And then just to point out on this one portion of the slide, the one that jumps out to me the most, and you and I have had conversations about this, is fencing. Fencing is a pretty big deal because, I mean, I look around my home, I'm in Rockland, and it's wood fencing. It is absolutely, if there was a fire, it would jump from one fence to the next house to the next fence, and there's all within 5 feet. So
yeah,
metal fencing, non-combustible fencing, I think that's going to be a pretty big issue for a lot of homeowners associations. I mean, El Dorado Hills, Serrano area, they're having conversations around that. So I think that's a surprise for a lot of people.
Well, and I think that they could even look to, as you can see in the slide, like where there's that pathway of maybe the actual door is transitioned out to some sort of metal door, and that's possibly a 5 foot door. I mean, that looks maybe more like 3.5, 4.5 foot, but yeah, we'll see in that slide later that you have pulled up the video of why fencing is ideal to not have it be wood.
Yep. Let me bring this back to size here, and then we'll roll down to the next 5 to 30 foot defensible space.
Yeah.
Pretty self-explanatory. The pictures are great on this one. Anything you want to add to that?
For the 5 to 30 foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, as you can see up in that top right hand corner, there's the tree that's limbed up, so it can help eliminate ladder fuels. So that's huge. You want 6 foot vertical clearance. You've got bushes that have the the respectable distance to each other, not all trampled together. So there's you can walk in between your bushes. But for vegetation, that's huge too. I would say the biggest thing is the trees. This is kind of that first defense, I feel like, between your home and maybe a large fire. So if there's embers that are on the ground, not having your trees limbed up, and that have that go up higher, that could then just basically skip your siding and go straight up to your roof if you don't have your gutters cleaned out either. So this is where tree work in the 5 to 30 is kind of detrimental.
Yep. And then I'm going to go back to regular size and scroll down a little bit here. So this is 10 to 30, liquid propane gas, fuel tanks, detached structures.
Yeah, we've got a lot of carriers that don't like fuel tanks. So it's unfortunate that they view these as a fuel source. I mean, there definitely are. I mean, from the Paradise Fire, we all heard, fuel tanks will take off in the large fire. So that's maybe part of that ladder fuels, because if you've got the 10 to 30 feet, you've got your fuel tank out there, and it blows. Now you're trying to look at it staying out there, not coming inside the 5 to 30 inside 5 feet of your home. So.
What is your thoughts? Or I've had conversations with clients because a carrier came and did an inspection and said all the trees around a propane tank, like this is an example, need to be trimmed away. And they're like, well, that's providing shade. And then they had rocks and stuff. And they ended up putting boulders around it. And I thought that's a pretty good idea. Does it really make a difference, or is it just to hide it like a aesthetic piece where it's, not an eyesore?
Yeah, I think that's just aesthetics. I think if you've got it, which a lot of people do, and they can't just get rid of it. I've had people that have asked to move it. You can go back to your propane provider and ask them to move your tank for you. Maybe run a longer line to get a further distance away from the home. So, I would definitely check in with your provider, see if they can help do that, because outside of that 30 feet is where it's really going to maybe help you keeping your home more defensible. As far as in the eyes of the carrier, they just see it being on the property, whether it be 5 feet, 100 feet.
Right.
Most of them that I've seen, they don't care about the distance. It's just if you got it in general. So,
yep.
Definitely I would, if the further away you can help put your propane tank, the better, just for being in that buffer zone of, if it does go off, how close do you want it going off to your home?
Correct. And then I like this too, base level building feature. I have this conversation with a lot of clients all the time about the roof material, about, enclosed eaves, about gutters and downspouts, about venting. And I've seen it from my carriers now where the condition for that, especially the venting. I had one client call a handyman out. They did all the venting with the right grills for it, missed 2 on the roof, and they had to have the handyman come back out and do those 2 on top of the roof. And I got to tell you, the client was willing to do all that because the rate offered by that carrier was very much more affordable than we were seeing in other carriers.
For helping do the vents?
For complying with the criteria of the inspection.
Oh, okay.
Where just trimming trees back as an example of venting, of enclosing eaves, things of that nature.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these base level things are going to be included in discounts for carriers, not just, now Fair Plan, and maybe we'll pull up the quick sheet of what carriers are looking at for discounts. But, this is kind of what is being instilled by the state to show all the other carriers what insureds are doing to improve their homes and making them more defensible.
This one's a great picture, number 7 here. So these overhead structures, pergolas, etc. I quoted a very high value home, and it had a wooden pergola just like this. And both the incumbent carrier, the existing carrier, and the carrier I'm quoting with either wanted this removed or, which was strange to me, just covered in metal. So it's the top layer needed to be covered in metal sheathing. So strips of metal down all of this. You could still have the spacing, but they just wanted the wood structure to be covered in metal for some reason.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's just an elevated fence. You want a fence 0 to 5 feet within your home, wooden fence. Now you've got this pergola. That's another fuel source. And, depending on what type, I'm glad that it's an open air concept, but, most people have lattice or some other type of top to help provide shade. And then, you got pine needles or you've got other tree debris or something else that could get up there. And, if you're not getting up on your roof and cleaning it on a regular basis,
it's going to get more fuel.
Yeah, you're getting up on the pergola. So
and I've had more than a number of clients for these elevated decks, etc. Just have it so that there's even plywood to prevent entrance via here.
Yeah.
Have you had that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I see that. I've heard what was it? Allstate. They didn't even want decks. But most of the carriers, they want you to have lattice or some sort of, what is it? There's like a clear film on there.
Yep, this one does. I'm going to blow it up a little more.
Yeah. It's just helping keep other debris from accumulating.
Yep, that's the right word, I think.
Yep.
Cool.
That looks really pretty. I mean, definitely doesn't look like Mars.
Yeah, and it doesn't look expensive either. This material, the sheathing, it's not very expensive. Let me come back. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Bring this back in size here. Then there's the plus designation, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking what this is because you can go to wildfireprepared.com or .org, sorry. Mm-hmm. You can actually apply for a discount. There's different designation levels, the home base or the plus that they mentioned.
Right here.
You can have them come out, look at your home, give you a designation, and that's what you're going to use in order to go back to those specific piloted carriers and get a discount. I don't know how much a lot of the discount is. I'm not a Farmers USA AAA agent, but I've heard it's pretty good. I did hear, and I don't know how accurate it is. I was on that United Policyholders webinar, and literally one of the AAA agents, she was one of their top executives or top people on the Wildfire program, and she said if they go out and get this Wildfire Prepared designation, that they retroactively go back and take off the non-renewal and then give them basically, like, I want to say it was a 3-year reprieve of not being able to be like a no drop promise almost.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah. I was like, man, I could just see carriers taking that and utilizing this as something to really kind of help make their insureds comply with being hardened.
And then the other one here is that came up to me recently was tempered glass and how to determine, because that's another level of protection to the homeowner. You could see it etched in one of the corners. It'll say tempered glass. And this is a great example, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised it's not like there's the dual pane windows too. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Have any of your clients gotten, I don't even know what the cost is on that because I have dual pane already. I'm not sure recently, if anyone's brought up and been like, oh, that's too much to do.
I don't know. Maybe it's something, it's an older home and it needs to be replaced anyway. It's on their maintenance list. Then that could be something to consider when doing it.
Right.
And then everyone knows about hardy board, right? This is another one. I hear that quite a bit. Versus wood or even stucco, like fiber cement board.
Yep. Yeah, hardy board siding. I feel like I've got a few contractor buddies, and a lot of older homes don't have that, and there's this huge push on that because you've got the embers up against your home, and you're trying to make it more resistant and resilient.
Yep.
Siding, I think, is huge between peeling and cracking, and exposed siding. Maybe it needs a paint job or something.
Absolutely.
So that's huge too.
All right, let me close out of this screen, and I'm going to close out of this PDF real quick.
Hey, do you want to pull up real quick the fair plan Do you have that discount form?
Yeah, I can pull that up. Give me a second here.
Okay. And that's going to be changing soon, but we can show where Fair Plan's using a lot of the stuff that's on that Wildfire Prepared form. I saw a Hartford and a Travelers renewal the other day, and they already had a lot of these structure hardening and immediate surroundings discount. Like they had a lot of the same bullet point items.
Yeah, it's there. I do see it there. The problem for me is they're pennies, dollars. The
Right.
discounts that they're applying are so insignificant that I know it's there and I know it'll get more robust, but right now what's being applied for those discounts is almost a non-factor when it comes to the premium, at least from
Right.
what I'm seeing.
Yeah, but the fact that they're acknowledging it, huge.
Yep,
I think
absolutely.
that it's going to help them whenever they go and apply for more rate. Now that's just an additional line item whenever they're applying for a rate increase. They're like, okay, well, we're going to put in, maybe at 1% per bullet point, or, I don't know what their reasoning is, but, the larger your premium is, the more whatever their discount that they filed for, it's going to be.
Right. You might have to approve that again.
Oh man, all this approval, jeez. It's like I feel like a manager. Yep, here it is.
And this may be a little older, but I'm going to blow this up a little. So there's actually 4 levels of discount. This one goes over the 2. There's the property level mitigation and measures discount. So
Yep.
these things. And then there's, this one doesn't even go into that detail. So, okay. So this one here is protecting around the home itself, around the home. And then the second one here is the community level. This is that Firewise discount. And
Yep.
then for those 25 designated regions in California, they also get the other discount. I'm blanking here. What's the other one? It's a community discount, but not a Firewise discount. It's
it's by the forestry board.
Yeah, there's 25, and they only do it every other year. So
Yeah. El Dorado Hills just got it approved, like right under the wire.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to be, you have to have Cal Fire and the whole forestry board. The Fire Risk Reduction Community is what it's called.
Yeah,
So
Fire Risk Reduction Community. That's exactly it.
Yeah, the Board of Forestry and Fire Protection need to come out, and they assess, miles and miles of area, making sure probably there's fire breaks surrounding you. So, that's an every other year kind of thing. But what I like about the discounts, and I saw that approval, is, this is on a tiered basis now, but I believe it's starting in November. It's going to be on a granular per bullet item point, which is nice. Because a lot of people don't, if you don't have the enclosed eaves, you don't get the entire, tier discount. Well, starting in November, you could get, it's like 1% per item. You'll be able to get that, which will be huge.
Yep. I got another one. You got to approve for that. I found it.
Yep.
So these are the 2024, 2025 Fire Risk Reduction Community lists.
Yep.
By the Board of Forestry and Fire Protection. And so you could see cities, towns, counties. So El Dorado County, Placer County already qualify for it. I haven't seen any carriers file for those discounts yet, but that is the next step, right? To be able to apply discounts for this community list.
Yeah.
But this would be the 4th one. Like Town of Truckee did something to get on this list, which is awesome. or that's Murrieta. Sorry, not Rancho Murrieta. Which ones are applicable here? So like, Sacramento, Shasta's a little high. Truckee we hit a bunch of times. Tahoe's getting on there. But it's a very short list. There's only 2 pages for this.
Yeah, there's a. Let me see if I can quickly share my screen.
Yeah, I'll turn mine off.
Or I can just share the map. So this is just the map. So and it helps with looking to see overview wise of where all of them are. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, just being able to see all over the state, look at the concentration of where they're at, it's just huge in this little area. So yeah, this next one will come out next year and be open for people to be able to apply for. And it takes city and county type of people coming together. So I'm sure that this year there will be probably a laundry list, and I'd have to find where it is, but a list of people that are going to apply for new designation. It says the next application period will open July 1st, 2025.
Oh, so we're almost there.
We're almost there. Yeah.
I
And
expect this list will grow, and the discount associated with it will be growing as well. So
yeah. Here's this. Is it green and yellow? Here's this fun little sheet.
Oh, there it is.
What is it? So this is like, what are the benefits to the agencies? Who's eligible to apply? So
can you blow it up a little bit? Bring it. Yeah, there you go.
yeah.
Cal Fire grants, discounts for the communities.
Yeah. So it's almost like another level above the Firewise community discounts.
Yep.
But I'm sure being able to apply for grants is going to be huge too.
That's a big focus in Placer County. Not Placer, excuse me.
So it's only open for what, 3 months? July, September, October?
Yep.
July, August. Sorry, I forgot about August. August is the big month for me, so I'm like, I just want to forget it.
You're right. It's 3 months.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of a short window. Man, that's pretty crazy. Where else would I wanting to go and look at real quick? Oh, do you want to show the video?
I have that. Can you save this flyer and we'll post it to our socials? This is a good one for people to see.
Yeah, definitely. Saved. I save everything.
Cool. Better than me. All right. I'm going to queue up a share and the audio share when you approve that. So this is the why it's so important to have that 5-foot defensible space. And before I start the video, you can see there's 2 buildings, one on the left, one on the right. And the one on the right has more defensible space and defensible materials. And the one on the left has more growth and less, more flammable materials. And this is 4 minutes, but it's so fast. Watch how fast this happens. I'm going to hit play. Hopefully the sound works.
You could probably
the ignition of fires from.
Oh, go for it before I start.
I was going to say, you could probably speed it up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know if I want to speed it up. See how fast it really
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Embers.
Let's do it.
And as Roy mentioned, embers can fly very far in advance.
Can you hear this?
Of the,
Oh, yeah.
wildfire
Sounds great.
front,
I can hear
the
you.
flame front, and ignite fires out in front of the main fire. And when they land next to structures, like we're simulating here, they can ignite fires in front of those structures, putting fire directly at the edge of the home or next to the home. And so that's what we're simulating here is the embers landing in front of the structures, igniting fires. We just use
honestly, those are kind of small embers because depending on how
yeah.
the fire is,
Denny, let's stay there.
they could be a lot larger than that.
Very shortly, turn on the fans, and
Wait till the fans turn on.
You'll get to see the influence of wind on a wildfire. And wind is the single biggest component.
I'll pause it right here real quick. So I just realized I saw a post on a neighborhood board on Facebook, and they were saying they called the fire department because their dried out mulch in their front yard caught fire, and they had to call the fire department. So something like this, when it dries out, this doesn't even look that dry.
Yeah,
and catch fire. So something else to think about. But they're going to turn the fans on and watch this. It's going to be so fun.
That causes extreme wildfire behavior and a loss of structures. When we have a hot day, a windy day, and particularly a windy day, then you have a recipe for a wildfire to be pushed from where it starts into a community and can burn through the community really quickly, going from structure to structure. So what we're going to do is go ahead and turn on the fans.
Here's the time. So it's 1:30. Turning on the fans. I guess I got to keep moving it for this to show up.
Now the fire was already going too this whole time. They were.
Yeah, it's smoldering.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like it's there. So
and did you see how that influenced the fire behavior? See the smoke being pushed differently now, so we'll get the fires will get seated and burning here, but some of the things that we have, Denny, what's the structure on the unmitigated structure built of?
Yeah, so if you look at the structure on the left, this, like he was saying earlier, it's a house that was built a long time ago before California building codes. So you'll see that it's got a vinyl roof, and you'll notice that in the roof we have debris that's in the roof gutter that can catch embers, and then obviously vinyl can be flammable. And then the siding of the building is actually a combustible wood, and then the windows are non-compliant windows, which would be windows that are just your standard windows that are non-safety or non-tempered. And then you'll notice the mulch, you see the fire kind of punking around, and this is a common situation for us as firefighters, is we can't get to every house when we have a big fire, and you can have a fire slowly punk around in your mulch that's right next to your house. That
hey, you want to pause that real quick?
Yep.
So I don't know if anyone heard that, but the firefighter said, we can only get to so many houses. So I've heard, they'll come to a block and they can make those quick assessments of what's savable and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And if they see this house that has all the mulch and the wood fence and debris, they're like, well, we're not gonna save that house. We're gonna save one that's gonna be that's gonna help us, be in there and help make it safe.
Cut off the flow of the fire and make it safer for them. Yeah. I was listening to CAL FIRE speak in person, and their number one priority is to save lives first. So they're going to evacuate the neighborhood, the street, etc. And then they're going to go where it's safe for them to go to save properties. And exactly like you said, if it's something they can save with lower risk, they're going to put more priority there than something that's almost indefensible.
All right. Sorry.
No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
So as Denny pointed out, if a fire company is able to
a little bit
go
over
to a structure and defend it, they do a tremendous job. And everything that the homeowner can do in advance of the fire by preparing their structure, like the mitigated structure on the right here, helps the firefighters do their job better at the house. But the firefighters' first priority is life safety.
Oh, I did say it in the video. I
What we
forgot.
see a lot of times when
hey, well, that's good. It's just helping get your stuff.
We have a lot of evacuation issues, and so their first priority is helping the population of that community get out of the harm's way. And while they're doing that, they're not able to defend structures, and so the fire just continues to burn through the community unmitigated.
And then another thing on the house on the left is a lot of people, when they originally planted their plants a long time ago, didn't have fire safety in mind. So a lot of times the plants that are planted around their house may not work in wildland areas.
So today's weather conditions that we have out here are not the most significant fire weather conditions when we have really a fire that could impact the community. We have low temperatures.
The fitness industry
wait a minute
doesn't
here.
want women.
What happened to the rest of the video? Hold on one second. That was the link I probably used. Sorry.
The ignition of
Let's go
fires
back.
from embers.
Let me share this for a second, and we'll find the exact link.
Yeah, for sure. I was looking real quick on what a red flag warning is. You know, there's strong winds, 25 miles an hour, dry fuels, high temperatures, low humidity, 20% and under. You can always check the National Weather Service for red flags. A lot of times fire departments in the area are going to have some sort of like, this is a red flag day that's out there. And you know what you'd want to do is maybe park your vehicles away from the house that day, or clear some debris that you feel like might be, might ignite if there was an ember or something in that fell. So I think you put that thing like, think of spring cleaning, but for survival. There was that little thing that you had kind of sent to me, which kind of sparked in no intended purposes what we are chatting about today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna pull that up too. I can't seem to find the full video. There's just parts of it for some reason.
That's Google for you. You know, they got to have their algorithm come in and.
Yeah, I know I've seen a video with the whole thing, though. I don't understand. So this is a summer checklist I got from one of my carriers.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the one I sent you. It came from a carrier. I'm pulling that up on the screen right now. Okay, approve that one.
Approved.
So this says your summer home checklist. Summer brings sunshine and fun, but also risks like heat, storms, and increased wear on your home. So it's, grill fire prevention, clean your grills, check for leaks. And I actually was at a meeting today and somebody was talking about a leaky barbecue, and it was making him afraid to use it. And he got a plumber to come in and fix the leak. Hoses and faucets, smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. I just paid to have my entire HVAC system replaced in my home, and I didn't know it, but included in that, they replaced every single smoke and carbon monoxide detector.
Wow.
The funny thing is, smoke detectors go in the ceiling. Did you know this? Carbon monoxide detectors belong at like knee and ankle level. So yeah. I had them all wrong, and they put them in the right places. So I used to think number 5 was a gimmick, clean dryer exhaust vents. And then you realize over time that builds up no matter how much you keep cleaning. Number 6, seal windows and doors, use weather stripping. That's even going to save you some money because you're making your home more efficient. It's easier to heat and cool. Trim trees and remove dead limbs. I get that from carriers all the time. I bind a policy. Carrier does their inspection with a third-party vendor. Comes back, we get the report, and without fail, there's always trees and debris around the home. But that was a quick, checklist that one of my carriers gave me. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you the carriers are understanding that they need to get more information out there to help people with becoming more aware of it. Because, I mean, it's definitely heightened right now with Fair Plan and the season in general. But I think carriers are trying to be a little bit more transparent on stuff. So
this video is the part 2. It doesn't have where the actual structure has caught fire, but I'm going to play that as soon as you approve it. And this is just 2 minutes. So
Job at that point.
Before I started, it had already caught fire. There's no intermediary video. I don't know why, but watch the rest of this. It's very short. So I make the assumption that the fire spread from
So
that
one of the
home.
things you'll notice is with the Wooey Wildfire Prepared Home, it's taking a lot of radiant heat. You can see embers flying through the air.
So this home didn't have dual pane windows, didn't have
So
the correct
even with
siding
this,
or outdated siding.
Cedar clapboard, right? Something that's flammable or
Yep.
flammable. And then the bushes, the tree, the roof, everything was very easy to catch on fire. I got it paused, but I'm pretty sure that it came from the mulch that was just smoldering.
Yep.
Eventually caught onto something and started heating it up, and then that combusted, and then it spread like this.
structure fully involved now, and that heat coming off of it, our wildfire prepared structure. Yeah, you can go ahead and pull those fans back. We're going to pull the fans back and turn them off just so we don't damage our fans.
You think how hot it is right there where it's kind of that's going to start melting.
So I know everybody's looking at the houses on fire, but make sure you're looking at the Wildfire Prepared Home. I can feel the heat right here, and that other Wildfire Prepared Home is much closer than I am.
And the fence, look at the fence. You know?
What's up?
Thanks, guys.
Well, I was gonna
I
say,
can't
you
see
know,
from here is
look at
the
the fence
fence.
on this
So that
one.
corner, that
And
tree that was in the
Maybe
corner
that
over here
goes
is
in the
completely
side,
consumed
with your
itself.
neighbors.
The fence is
why they
burning
kind of start
mainly on the
talking
back
about-
side
Oh,
of
yeah.
the fence, though it's beginning to burn down at the base. You can really see how the wind is bringing the heat of the fire that's inside the structure is drawing the wind that's down and the fire that's down in the mulch towards the structure. And it's because of all the heat that's going up is drawing cool air down below at the bottom.
See that quick change, how fast that all went in, there you go.
So, and as you watch the fire transition from the combustible fence, watch how when the combustible fence hits the metal fence, it's going to go out.
See the bushes right here? Or
If that metal
whatever you
fence
wanna call
wasn't
those.
there, that Wooey Wildfire Prepared Home, if it was a wooden fence next to it, can you imagine the heat that home would
And
have
this
to
one,
try and
this one,
retard?
structure.
And the ignition resistant works to a certain point. Job at that point.
I don't know what the next video is, whatever the algorithm, but
Right.
stop sharing.
I mean, that's another thing too is the neighbor. I mean, that's why he said look at the wildfire prepared home, because your neighbor's house could be on fire, and because of the work that you've done to prepare it, your home, you can be resilient whenever your neighbor's house is on fire. Which is, I hate to laugh about. It's just that's the reason why you do it. It's not just maybe the fire, maybe not even a wildfire. You know, there's plenty of homes that I've read about this past month that have caught fire, and it's just one home. They've got a kitchen fire or something else, and if your neighbor's house catches fire, and there's a fence nearby, you know, that could definitely come to your house.
Sure.
Or, you know, you being prepared enough that whenever the fire department gets there, they can focus their attention to the home that's on fire instead of, you know, trying to save 2 homes and then trying to save, you know, 3 or whatever position that the fire's going, which is huge. This has been great. I did put out I was looking at this, you know, we we started a Facebook event group, and I don't think that we tagged the event group in our live.
Don't think so.
Going in our thing, but in that event group, someone did ask a question. I was going to find it again. It was something about asking on whether or not. I'll read it here. If I drop my fair plan insurance this year, how much of an increase will I see above the standard yearly increase if I then apply for it again next year? Well, depends on if fair plan takes an increase, and I haven't seen them apply for any increases. So I would say nothing. I do have a few insureds that have done cancellations, like they'll cancel their policy. I mean, it's not advised, but because of the cost is so extreme, they'll cancel their policy and they'll start it back up in April or May. And yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. Some people can't cancel because they don't own their home outright and have that luxury of not having to be insured because of a mortgage. But you can do that. You definitely can. So you wouldn't see any increase. It would be the same whenever you left, whenever you came back, unless there was a rate increase.
Well, or if they've been on the fair plan for a long time and it's leveled out, right? Because my understanding is some of these rate increases were graduated. Is that not true? Am I misunderstanding that?
So you're saying that they had like a grandfathered rate?
Yeah, so there was some major rate increases, and it could only go up X% or something.
Yeah, no.
We'll look.
Yeah,
no?
whatever the rate increase is at the time of renewal, it'll go up. So I guess if maybe they canceled, last year, and then it wasn't, their renewal term didn't have the affected rate increase, which I think we could be in that, but their rate was approved back in December. So, yeah, I guess there's a small chance. It just depends on when the last rate increase was that you canceled, but you're not grandfathered into a rate.
What would you, for me, in the conversation with that client would be, why would we cancel? What if we just stripped out as much as we possibly could? Highest deductible, no loss of use, take everything but the dwelling coverage out and reduce the premium that way so that it, they have, I guess what you would call catastrophic coverage, right?
Right.
And it'd be more affordable.
Yeah. So you could rebuild. And the reason why you're saying like you can take out loss of use coverage, maybe personal property coverage lowered, is because you can erode the dwelling coverage up to 10% and put that into loss of use, so that way you can go live with your uncle or go live in a hotel for a couple weeks or live somewhere else.
Something is better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. And then you're still able to rebuild your home. Yeah, which is huge. And that's why you want to sit with, an independent agent and go over your coverages. Let's have real world conversations
and understanding of what those coverages are. That's, I think, more than premium. It's knowing what you're paying for and why you're paying for that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because there's too many people I got my quote from my real estate agent whenever I bought my house, and I don't even know who my agent is, or my agent's out of state. They aren't. I've got a lot of people this past couple of weeks that have called me because their agent's not in the area, they're out of state, they don't understand the climate, and they want someone local who's understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it's always great to go to a local agent. Well, we're kind of almost at the end.
Yep.
We'll definitely try and find a way to get some more questions out there. I think I kind of did that in the past couple of days. I think I put that question out there to try and get some more questions so we could answer it here and there.
Can you see how many people are watching this stream, or?
I saw it up to 3.
Okay, it's a start.
That's a start.
Just wanted to make sure that people were able to access it. That's all, because we didn't see any questions in the chat, and we kind of rambled on what wildfire preparedness was, and that video was definitely queued up, although it was the wrong video to start. But we'll do better in the next one.
Yeah, Thursdays at 2.
And we're going to be doing it. So my agency set up right now, so it'll be East Main Street, which is Ryan's agency, goes live on Facebook on their page. Kamara Insurance Agency goes live on our Facebook page. Right now, we're live on YouTube as well. So you can just go to YouTube and see the live there and ask your questions on YouTube. And then East Main Street, we're going to set that up so Ryan can go live on YouTube as well. So those will be the 4 places where you can go to ask questions.
Yeah. And you could always go to our websites too. Have you rebranded yet? What's your website, Chris?
I'm still working on that. So we're still Kamara Insurance Agency for the time being.
.com?
TeamCIA.net.
.net. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And I'm at East Main Street, INS.com.
I'm going to put that up right now on the screen. Give me just 2 seconds.
You can do all that fun stuff. Cool. I think I'm gonna call it. I don't see any other.
Give me just 2 seconds, and we'll put this up.
I was almost gonna try and see where I could. Man, yeah, I was looking at the Facebook thing. So I created a Facebook event, which this doesn't go into Facebook because I didn't. Maybe I wonder if I could like tag that group. It's still a work in progress.
Yeah, you want to approve that share, the screen share?
Oh, more approvals. Approved.
Your page on the left, and it's eastmainins.com, and then my page on the right, teamcia.net. Then Ryan, you're in Grass Valley, and
I'm in Grass Valley, California.
Yep, and I'm in Rockland, California.
Nice.
Cool. Well, I think that's a good start for today. Do you want to end the stream?
I do. Thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely.